Okay, we were started off strong, but have hit some roadblocks. Let's press on and see if we can get the last 4 wins we need. Next loss we take, we're out. Ooh, all black hand with no black mana. As much as I hate the mulligan, I think we just about have to. If we don't draw a source of black, this is going to be a sad game for us. If we draw one source of black, this becomes a much better game. This is one of the frustrating things about best of 1. Okay. This is at least a playable hand, even though it doesn't do much. Do we want you? I mean, I need to have something to play. So pass turn. At least we're getting our Glass of the Guild Pact early in the game, rather than later in the game. If there's any positive thing we can say about this hand. Opponent's playing white, so hopefully they will start off slow with Azorius or Orzhov. Oh, there's Azorius. Impassioned Orator. Wouldn't mind having one of those of our own. So we're going to go with that, and we're going to play Orzhov Locket, and a pass turn. Ooh, this is going to be a steep hill to climb. 2 life every time you play a creature. It's going to be very difficult to keep up with. I'll play our land, and let's see. I'm going to play our Racketeers and discourage our opponent from attacking, hopefully. He probably doesn't want to make 2/2 flyers. Oh, splashing for black. Maybe not splashing, maybe primarily black. Whoa. Impassioned Orator .deck. This is fantastic. Yeah, it's looking more like Orzhov splashing blue and just didn't happen to have the black source at the beginning. So, do we trade here? I think we go ahead and trade down for one of these. We are not overcoming 3 Impassioned Orators, that's for sure. Play a land here. I'm going to play our Vindictive Vampire and chase the Scorpion away. And then next, no attacks. Sphinx's Insight. Draw 2 cards. Addendum. If you play this during your main phase, you gain 2 life. Nice. Okay, pass turn. Oh, a Scorpion. Okay. So we have a Mortify and a Final Payment. let's go ahead into combat here. And next, we're just going to attack with just one of our creatures. I'm going to save the other two to block. And in turn. Keep these two back to trade with. Ooh. Okay. So resolve. And I think we want to mortify that one. Let's resolve. Resolve. I'm going to put a stop at the end of our opponent's turn. See if they have any attacks for us. Pass to end of combat. The end of turn, we're going to go ahead and mortify because we don't want to deal with this Azorius Night Arbiter. That's going to be too much for us to put up with. Okay, another final payment here. Let's go into combat. Next. Next. Just attack with one again. Ooh. Grasping Thrall. Enters battlefield, 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life. Yep. Resolve. 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 So now we gotta keep both of our flyers back to block. Summary Judgment. So we will keep that, and we're just going to pass the turn. Potentially we'll pop our locket here, depending on whether or not our opponent attacks, and what we have to block with. Smothering Tithe, whenever an opponent draws a card. That's the real question. Do we want to draw now instead of giving our opponent 2? Probably. Let's go ahead and do that. What you got, opponent? Okay. So some more ground creatures on our part. So if he attacks in, if our opponent attacks in with a Grasping Thrall, we'll probably just double block with the spirits here. Okay. Opponent making that decision for us. So we're going to let the Thrall here, and we'll use Summary Judgment on our next turn. It's fine. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ping. 1 gives us 4 mana, so I'm not going to be able to play both anyway. So let's see, do I have to pay the 2 or let it resolve? Okay, so I'm going to pay 1, 2, and then I'm going to play Gateway Plaza. I'm just going to come in and I'm going to tap that for 1. I'm going to go into combat. Next, we're going to tap with this one guy. Next. And then we are going to play Summary Judgment, killing your Grasping Thrall. Okay. Our opponent's definitely winning the battle of attrition here. Thankfully, okay, a 2/3 flyer this time. Thankfully, we do have some creatures that we can trade off. So we can keep our spirits back to double block on the messenger. Lawmage's Binding. Solid card. So it says activated abilities can't be activated, but luckily our Vindictive Vampire's ability are triggered abilities. Okay, so real question is, do we want to trade for one of these Impassioned Orators, or do we want to take 6 damage? I don't think we win this game by trading off our flying protection, so unfortunately we're going to have to say no blocks here. We're going to go down to 5. Let's see, I have 6 mana, resolve, decline, you can have your treasure token, because I am going to play not 1, but 2 Noxious Greediness. So for the moment at least, we have everything locked down. Wouldn't mind drawing our Knight of the Last Breath at this point in the game. Start turning our chump blocks into 2/2 flyers. But at the moment, well, I was going to say our opponent didn't have any good attacks, but so I feel as though we're about to get to meet an unbreakable formation, but not too much we can do about that. So show it to me. Ooh. Nothing from our opponent, actually. So. Basilica of Belhaunt. Sure. You got me. Do I want to pay? Yeah. I will pay 2. So, 1, 2. And now I'm gonna play this. And pass our turn here. No attacks. End turn. So, we are close to stabilizing. Not quite there yet. Pass. Pass. No attacks from our opponent. It's a relief, to be honest. Sure, we will resolve. And we're gonna pay 1, 2. And we'll go ahead and play our Guildgate tapped. And pass our turn. Twilight Panther gains Death Touch till end of turn. Okay. Our opponent is top decking better than we are top decking. Not a great place to be. Still not attacking though. Which I will take. Ooh. It's not going great for us. So here's 1, 2, and play our land. Pass turn again. Oh, this is unfortunate. flying. Other creatures you control with flying get +0/+1. Not what we wanted to see. Our opponent is winning the top deck game. Okay, all out of cards. Expect an attack this time. Pass. We'll take 1 damage. No blocks. My turn. Okay. So resolve. 1, 2, and play for 4. Next. No attacks. Enter. Okay, let's see what attacks our opponent has. Okay. So what blockers do we set up? Okay, let's go to blockers. We're going to declare the 10th restrict on the Twilight Vampire, let our opponent pay the black, and then we'll final payment it to destroy that, and then so now we're gonna do this. And we're gonna sacrifice a creature. We're gonna sacrifice this one to destroy. Oh wait. Every time. It's very unintuitive. Okay. And then pick our creature to sacrifice. I'm gonna gain a life. Opponent's gonna lose a life. Okay. But we're still in it. Well, not super helpful at the moment. Resolve. I'm gonna pay 1, 2. And we're gonna pass turn. Okay, let's see what attacks our opponent has. Attacking with everything this time. Okay, so I think we go ahead and play this. Do we get anything with 4 life? I think we play this now. Our opponent probably sacrifices their Imperious Oligarch. But that's 2 damage, so we're not taking this turn. And then we probably put Civic Stalwart and our flyer on Basilica Bellhaunt. Yep. So hopefully we can take that out. And then they probably take out our spirit. But that's all that we can do. At least we still have our blocker on the ground. and then we just have to find something to save us in the air, which our deck has a couple things, so. Vindictive Vampire keeping us alive here. Sure, we'll take it. Resolve. Pay 1, 2. And so unfortunately we can't even attack with our Civic Stalwart because our opponent can just take it, and then they would have several creatures they could attack into us with. Okay. Combat, expect all three of them to go through. We're going to have to block the Panther here. So we're going to block the Panther. Our opponent's going to pay the black. And then we're going to play Undercity Embrace to get rid of... Ooh, we did that wrong. Well, maybe not. Our opponent might get rid of the Panther, and then we save our Stalwart. Okay, this works out for us. That's the result I wanted to see anyway. So I probably should have waited until damage was done and then played afterwards, and they would have had to sack a spirit, but I can only do so much about that. Okay, so let's see. 8 mana. I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. 6. So 1, 2, and then play this. Well, that at least puts our opponent on somewhat of a clock. Unless they can play some defense. The nice thing though is if they kill my Debtor's Transport, then I will get... Aw, they exiled it. Boo, opponent. Just having everything. Well, it's gonna feel that much better if we can just get our Knight of the Last Breath here. Okay, not bad. We at least have a flyer. So 1, 2, and then Windstorm Drake. The other nice thing is every creature our opponent kills is another life for me, which blanks the spirit for a turn. And I don't know, we're 13 turns away from winning from our opponent decking out. Go away, Scorpion. Hey. Okay, so we're doing stuff. We might have finally stabilized. 1, 2, pay the tax, send in the Oligarch. It's now a 3-2 because of our glass. No attackers. We don't want the Windstorm Drake to attack. We need him to hold down the fort and keep the spirits off us. Let's see what our opponent plays. Ooh, good card, opponent. Okay, so this guy has hexproof as long as these two tokens are still around. So removing him is going to be rather difficult. Thankfully, we can double block with our Oligarch and our Windstorm Drake. Our third Undercity Embrace. So we'll try to hold on to this one for a little bit. So we'll go ahead and resolve. We'll go ahead and pay 1, 2, and next. Next. No attacks. And turn. This has been quite the game. Syndicate Messenger. Not terribly excited to see that. Let's see what attacks our opponents makes. Okay. Pass. Pass. My turn. Okay, nothing yet. Resolve. 1, 2. Play this. And pass turn. No attacks again. And end turn. We're still scrapping it out. Ooh, brutal. Brutal. Our opponent's cards are just better than our cards. So this is going to blank any advantage that we're getting from our Glass of the Guild pack, excuse me. Okay. Do we want our opponent to sacrifice a creature now? Does it even matter? It's probably just going to be one of these illusions. Resolve. Go ahead, opponent. Okay, so let's go to blockers. We're gonna block here, and we have to block here, and pass. So gain a life, deal 1 to our opponent. What removal do we still have? 1 final payment, 2 final payment. There's our Mortify. I don't think we have any removal left, guys. Okay, our turn. Not exactly what we wanted to see. Resolve. 1, 2. Player Noxious Grudian. And pass turn. Okay, to combat we go. So blockers, what's the best block we can make here? So block the Syndicate Messenger, block the Azorius. Pass. Would really, really love to see our Knight of the Last Breath. I don't think our opponent is making the most optimal attacks they could be making. My turn. Hey, there's our knight. Okay, so resolve. Decline. You can have your mana. I just want to have all of mine available. So, Knight of the Last Breath. And pass turn. No attacks. End turn. Okay, so suddenly Undercity's Embrace is a little bit better with our knight out because it means we can at least gain 4 life and buy some time, which is really what we want to see. So we're going to pass to our opponent here. Okay. So we are going to go to blockers. I think this turn we're just going to do Undercity's Embrace. So go to blockers, block here, block, and then before damage, Undercity's Embrace. Opponent's probably going to lose an illusion here, but we will at least gain 4 life. And live another turn. The reason I didn't want to do Knight of the Last Breath here is because I didn't want to, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Pay 2 is 9 if I need it. So sure, we will 1, 2, and then play a swamp. Okay. Combat's over. Yeah, the reason I didn't want to do Knight of the Last Breath that turn is because I didn't want to sacrifice my Vindictive Vampire with the possibility that I could still gain a couple lives off of it, because that life might be very important. At this point, the strategy is almost just stay alive until we can mill our opponent out. Okay, they're attacking with their Messenger and their Sky Guard again. So, we're gonna use our Knight, sacrifice. We're gonna sacrifice the Benthic Vampire. To gain a token. We're gonna go to blockers. We're gonna block, block. And pass turn. Yeesh. Resolve. 1, 2. And play a card. And pass turn again. Ooh, our opponent's checking our cards. It seems like he might have some removal here. Another flyer? Okay, okay. Resolve. Go to attackers. Ooh, interesting. Opponent is attacking with their spirit finally. Okay, so I'd been holding the Noxious Grudian back to block the Benthid, but now that my Knight of the Last Breath is a 4/5, I don't think I need that. So I'm gonna utilize my Knight here. I'm gonna sacrifice the Grudian. This is going to give us another spirit. I'm gonna go to blockers, block here. And I think we need to block here. My turn. Oh, goodness, deck. Come on. Resolve. 1, 2. So, pass turn. land from our opponent. And we're gonna have to chump the Azorius Sky Guard here. Okay. So go to blockers, block here, block here, block here, and pass. Oh, that might be the game. Resolve. 1, 1, 2. Play a land. Pass turn, no attackers. End turn. Chase our Scorpion away. Depose, tap target creature. Yep, I think that is it. Okay, resolve. Yep. So we can't block enough of our opponent. I'm gonna give him the good game and head out of here. Oh. Well, not quite 6 wins here today. 600 gems, 3 packs. So we'll go ahead and crack our packs. Let's see what we get. Wild card. Never complain about those. Another wild card. And we just completed a wild card up here. And one more pack. Growth Chamber Guardian. We got to see that. Not too bad considering the sealed pool that we had. We just didn't have any of the great rares to take us over the top, but I think we played against our opponents pretty well. Maybe 1 or 2 plays that we could have changed up, but I think overall played about as well as we could. Just didn't quite go our way. Saw some really interesting decks. Got to see that last deck that we played was something special. Our opponent was almost up to Commander Life, up to 40. But I'm going to go ahead and sign off here today and hopefully get back on around Tuesday for another sealed event. So you guys have a good day and I'll see you next week.